Welcome to Carvin Software's instructional videos of Staffing Complete. This video will provide a general overview of the Personnel module. Start by navigating to the Personnel module. The Personnel module is where all personnel are created and referenced from within the software. There are 13 tabs in the Personnel module. Staffing Complete can house a variety of information pertaining to the personnel. All required fields on each tab are marked with an asterisk next to that field. The first tab that you will encounter is the Find It tab. The Find It tab is where you search for specific personnel based on different criteria entered into the software. There are 8 different search options on the Find It tab. A basic search allows you to select the type of information you are using to search, such as full name, city, or postal code. Next, you will enter the office. Lastly, you will enter in the search value information and then click Find It. This will bring up all personnel that fit the search criteria you just entered. The next tab is the Activity Search tab. The Activity Search tab searches the Activity tab in the personnel profile according to the activity dates entered. The third tab is a Skill Search. A Skill Search searches skills that have been entered on the Personnel Skills tab. If the skill on a personnel's profile has expired, it will not pull to a given search. An Availability Search allows you to search the work shifts entered on the Person's Availability tab. The Call-In tab shows you what personnel have checked in within the date range entered. The next tab is the Message tab. The Message tab will display the text messages sent to and received by the personnel within the date range set. Next is the Claim Search tab. The Claim Search tab allows you to search unemployment claims or workers' compensation claims that have been entered into the Claims tab. And lastly is the ACA Search. The ACA Search tab allows you to find personnel based off of the Affordable Care Act entries made in the ACA tab. Now that we have reviewed ways to search for personnel, let's review the Profile tab. The Profile tab is where personnel, also known as temporary employees, are initially inserted into the software. The Profile tab houses information such as demographic information, personal contact information, W-4 expiration date, and accrual information. Remember, while Staffing Complete can house a variety of information, required fields are notated by the asterisk next to the field. In addition to the main Profile tab, there are 12 subtabs on the Profile tab. The main Profile tab is where you will set up demographic information, contact information, W-4 specifics, and much more. The Deduction tabs below is where you will insert any additional deductions, such as child support. If an employee would like to set up direct deposit, you will enter their direct deposit information on the Direct Deposit tab. If the personnel does not have direct deposit, but would like to utilize a pay card to receive their pay, that information will be entered into the Pay Card tab. The next tab is the Warning tab. The Warning tab allows you to enter a warning message that will pop up every time that personnel is added to an order. The Private tab is where you can mark personnel as an internal employee and a temporary employee. If marked as an internal employee, this person will be able to be accessed in the Internal Payroll module. If the internal employee is also a temporary worker, make sure to mark is also a temporary worker. This will allow the employee to be paid through the Payroll module. You can set default hours, default pay rates, select the SUTA state, and provide a job title here. The Emergency tab allows you to store emergency contact information that's specific to that personnel. The Miscellaneous tab allows you to store various items related to the personnel to be referenced and reported on as needed. The HR tab allows you to store various data related to the personnel. Some items of note are the W-4 expiration date field, which will prevent personnel from being added to an order when the date has expired. The Other Payroll tab is where you can make payroll-specific changes at a personnel level. From here, you can specify a different name on a check and invoice, mark someone as FICA or Medicare exempt, or as a 1099 employee. All of these items will be applied when payroll is being processed. The ACA tab allows you to add details regarding the Affordable Care Act that references existing plans within the Setup module. This information must first be entered into the Setup module before it will display here as an option to select. The next tab is the Accrual tab. The Accrual tab is where you can set accrual plans at the personnel level. These settings will override any office level defaults that are set. These plans reference the accrual plans entered within the Setup module. The last profile subtab is the W-2 codes tab. The W-2 codes tab allows you to enter in additional details on a personnel when exporting W-2s from the software. The third main personnel tab is the Skill tab. Skills, special certifications, and tests that the personnel has completed should be entered here. By entering items on this tab, you can utilize the skill search on the Find It tab, or when you're trying to fill a position on an order in the payroll module. The next main tab is the Notes tab. The Note tab is meant as a permanent record-keeping system of information relating to that specific personnel. Each note has its own specific type that's selected upon entering. This tab is great to track communication with the personnel. The fifth main personnel tab is the Activity tab. This tab allows you to log activities performed with or by the personnel, including any applicable details related to the interaction. Items entered on this tab can be searched on the Find It tab. The next tab is the Rules tab. The Rules tab allows the software to automatically prevent certain personnel from working with specific customers by adding a Do Not Return or a DNR rule. Should a DNR exist between a personnel and a customer, the software will prevent the addition of that personnel to the order, and a pop-up will inform the user that a DNR exists. The seventh tab is the Credentials tab. The Credentials tab allows you to enter in information regarding the personnel's education, work experience, and resume. The next tab is the History tab. There are 5 subtabs that can be utilized to find past historical information for this specific personnel. The Payroll tab displays payroll that has been processed within a check date that's within the date range set. The Orders tab displays any orders the personnel is on with a work date that exists within the specified date range. The Placements tab provides an at-a-glance view of the placement details for all customers the personnel is assigned to. The Employment tab will automatically track the hire date, termination date, rehire date, and check date for the selected personnel. This allows users to view employment-related information at a glance versus running multiple reports. The last subtab is the Message tab. The Message tab will display the text messages sent to and received by the selected personnel within the date range set. The Availability tab allows you to detail what the personnel is available to work. The Shift field can then be searched for on the Find It tab in the Personnel module. You can enter in multiple entries with specific start and end dates, times, and days for each entry. The 10th tab is the Checklist tab. The Checklist tab houses information that the software will require to be marked completed before that personnel can be added to an order. Checklist items can be added, marked completed, or if recent checklist items have received changes, they can be reloaded. Checklist items are initially created in the Setup module on the Checklist tab. The Documents tab stores files relevant to the personnel. Once uploaded, documents can be emailed, viewed, or removed as needed. The next tab is the Accruals tab. The Accruals tab displays the vacation, sick, and PTO entries for that personnel. These entries are both automatically accrued according to the plan assigned to the person, as well as manual entries that may have been entered. The last tab is the Claims tab. The Claims tab has two subtabs for unemployment and work comp. These tabs allow you to enter details for the selected personnel with regards to unemployment claims or workers' compensation claims. Entered items can then be viewed, modified, and referenced in reports. Specific reminders may be set to make you aware of follow-up dates that need to be met. You can also search the entered items on the Find It tab. For more information regarding the Personnel module, please visit our wiki at the address linked on the screen.